Hello everybody. I'm doing a live video as promised for the tomato varieties that I'm going to be growing this year. A lot of people have been asking what I'm going to have available, so I'm going to run through. I have piles of seed packets out in front of me. Did get my new tripod. Yay, still have never found the old one. The only thing is the way this tripod fits my phone. It pressed the power and the volume button at the same time, and while I was just setting up, I almost called emergency services. So good to know that. But before I get started with the tomato varieties, as you see something that you like, if you want to comment, and just so I kind of start getting a count of what people are going to want this year, it just kind of gives me a little bit of direction on where to go. So I didn't order a lot of new seeds this year for me. I did order some new ones because for a normal person, I'm not sure what the normal amount of new seeds would be for a season. But as most of you know, if you don't know yet, I am a tomato junkie. Tomatoes are my passion to grow. I absolutely love them. I love growing them. I love the different varieties. I love picking them out. I love everything about them. So I have very little control when it comes to tomatoes. I will have peppers and also some herbs and other eggplants and a few other plants available this year, but it's too much to do in one live video, so I'm just going to start with the tomatoes because that's the most popular thing and go through them really quick because I do have some new varieties. I went to look them up on the computer again before I started the video, so I knew a little bit more about them. However, my computer is having internet connectivity issues and I could not get on the internet and I didn't have time to mess with it anymore, so I decided we're just going to go for it. So to start off with, I did order a tomato collection and a few new tomatoes from Siskiyou Seeds this year, which is a company up in Oregon. I also ordered some from my longtime standby Baker Creek. So we'll go ahead and get started. So for the Baker Creek seeds, well, they're not going to be in order. It's going to be chaos, as most stuff that I usually do is. And when I get done with this live video, I am going to post it to YouTube also. So make sure you go and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any other updates that come up. So Baker's Creek is located in Mansfield, Missouri, which is not too far from where I used to live in Missouri. So my number one favorite tomato of all time, as far as I'm concerned, it beats out Brandywine, is the Ananas Noir tomato. It's a beautiful pineapple tomato. It's red, green, yellow. It has the best flavor as far as I'm concerned for any tomatoes. So I will always grow this tomato until the day ever comes that I find something else that I like better, but it has not happened yet. So all the tomato varieties that I'm going through, all of them I grow for myself, and then some of them I grow specifically to have available for the community. And the ones that I grow for myself, like for example, for this one, because I always grow it, I start, I don't know, 4 or 6 cells, and I start extra because I want to make sure that I get this tomato in my garden. So that way I make sure that I have at least 2 or 3 for my garden. But then if all the seeds don't come up, I'm good. However, if all the seeds do come up, then I always have a few extras to share with people. So that's why I'm saying if there's something that I hold up that you specifically like, comment, go on with it. So growing Ananas Noir. This is a new one that I'm growing this year, Paul Robeson. I have not grown this one before, but it is a Russian variety. It's sweet, smoky, 7 to 10 ounce fruits. So nice slicer, smaller beefsteak. Pineapple, which is a great orange with red striping tomato. I have grown that one before. Cherokee Purple I have grown before. This one is a customer favorite. Everybody loves this one. It is a very deep red color with purple blushings on it. Watermelon beefsteak. This one I grew last year for the first time. I actually waited 2 years before I could get seed for this tomato. So last year it did not perform super well in comparison to my other tomatoes. We had a really crappy garden year though, as anybody in my area will contest. But so I'm not going to give up on it after 1 year, and I'm going to try it again. Sometimes it's just not the year for that variety. Sometimes it just needs a different location. I like to give tomatoes options before I cut them out of the lineup. Berkeley tie-dye, gonna grow this one again. Green. Berkeley tie-dye comes in a couple different color varieties, so this is the green variety. This one is one of Jay's favorites. It is bright red, orangey, and green striped on the outside, and the inside is mottled. He really likes that one. Abe Lincoln. I've grown this one for a couple years. I'm not sure if I grew it last year, but I know I grew it several years before that. This is one of the largest tomatoes I've ever grown. As a matter of fact, in one of my new videos that's posted on my YouTube channel, this is the tomato I'm holding up next to my head because it was almost as big as my head. So I'm gonna definitely do a few Abe Lincolns again this year. Pink Jazz, I like a pink tomato. I'm not a super big fan of yellow and orange tomatoes because I like that old-timey acidy tomato taste. So I really like Pink Jazz. Brandywine, I always gotta go Brandywine. I actually did not grow Brandywine last year in my own garden, so I'm bringing it back again. This is probably the first year ever that I've never grown Brandywine. So I'm bringing it back again. Old German, this is actually some older seed that I have from Territorial Seeds. So and I haven't grown it for several years, so I thought I would put this one back in circulation. Black Beauty, I grew quite a few of these the last couple years. They perform really well. They put on a lot of fruits. They are definitely dark black on the outside, dark purple. The inside is a dark, deep red, purplish color. They have a great flavor. I use them in cooking, canning, everything. They just have performed great. So I'm gonna do some more of those. Excuse me. Black Creme. I've never grown this one before, but I have wanted to grow this one for several years. So this year, some of the new seed that I did order was from Siskiyou Seeds, and I ordered a packet. That was an heirloom-like variety pack, in addition to a couple other varieties that I decided I couldn't live without. So Black Creme, I believe, came in the variety pack, so I'm gonna try that one. Never grown it before. Never grown this one either. A lot of these that I got from Siskiyou Seeds, I have never grown before. So it's going to be an exciting tomato year. Japanese Black Trifle. Fruits are green shouldered, fading to red, purple, black at the base, 3 inches long, 8 to 10 ounce in weight with a complex, dynamic, smooth flavor. And they're determinate. As an heirloom, so that was one reason why I think I picked this one, because I don't have a lot of determinate tomatoes in my lineup that I really enjoy. So I wanted to get some determinants because determinants grow to a certain size, the plant stops, the plants are stockier, bushier in shape. They tend to put all of their fruit on in more of a flush. The fruits all ripen at the same time. So they work great for canning and processing because you get all your fruit at once. As opposed to indeterminate tomatoes have big long vines. They usually are very long and leggy. They just keep growing and growing. And as the vine grows, you have new sets of blooms that set fruit that go on and on. So you get tomatoes all season long instead of one big crop that's ready all at once. This is Cherokee Purple, even though I already had some. It came in the variety pack, so now I have more. Spitz, a Romanian heirloom with 4 to 6 inch long, somewhat pear-shaped paste tomatoes. Oh, so this is a paste tomato. Had it in the wrong pile. I thought these were all slicers. So that is going to be a paste tomato I'm going to try. Burbank slicing. See, a lot of they don't have pictures on these, so I don't have anything good to show you guys, but this is Burbank slicing, reliable producer. It's just bush habit, does not require trellising, so it's probably more of a determinate tomato, sweet tart flavor, crack resistant, disease resistant. Dakota Gold, this is a yellow beefsteak. Granny Cantrell's large pink red beefsteak, up to 2 pounds. So this might be a contender for Ed Lincoln. We'll see how they do side by side. Marvel Striped from Mexico, 10 to 4 inch fruits, yellow, orange, lobed, pleated shape, very few seeds. Oh, I don't even know if I could pronounce this one. Scores Pelka. Somebody's here, my dog is barking. A rare, once wild tomato bearing 2 to 4 ounce red fruits that are more or less identical to regular tomatoes. There you go, garden variety, red grocery store tomato. So we're gonna try that. They work great for processing. Excuse me. Okay, so let's move on to paste tomatoes, which I had in the next pile. Last year, I ended up with a whole section in my garden. Last year, I grew probably, I'm gonna say between 35 and 40 tomato plants. I was cutting back. I have to get a drink. Because we're empty nesters and there's not as many people at my house eating tomatoes anymore. My son still does come over and raid the tomato patch. So there is that to consider. However, I ended up with about a dozen, 12 to 15, I'm gonna say, that were, sorry guys, I got a tickle in my throat now, that were orphans that nobody took from my plants that were available for sale. How embarrassing that I keep coughing during a live video. So anyway, it was late in the season. I just threw them into the garden. I know that I had regular Romas. I had a Roma VF resistant variety because I have several customers that need to have the VF resistant variety for their gardens. I also had San Marzano and Martinos. Some of them performed way better than the others, but because I just threw them out there, I did not mark what was what, which is typical of my chaotic gardening style. So this year I'm going to try to pay more attention because I did end up making a lot of salsa, and I believe it was the San Marzanos that did well because they're larger, long. Some of the tomatoes were this long. They were 4 to 5 inches. They were bigger than a standard Roma, and they did great. So I'm gonna try the San Marzanos again. I'm also just gonna do, I have some leftover seed that's Martino's Roma. They did great. Some just plain Romas, which I'll have available for adoption. And Roma VFs, like I said, I have some customers that need the VF resistance, so we're gonna do those. And then this is a new one that's a paste for me. It is Pink Fang. They're supposed to be very large paste tomatoes. So, and this is one that I wanted to try last year, but the seed was sold out. So I'm gonna try that one, super excited. Okay, next, I do a few, those, well, other than the Romas, the Roma VFs, these are pretty much all heirlooms that I've gone through so far. But I do a few hybrids because there are people that do want hybrids. So I'm going to do some standard beefsteaks, Delicious, and Celebration, which is the offspring of Celebrity that we used to get way back in the day. I can't find Celebrity seed anymore. It's all now Celebration. My Aunt Evelyn loves this one, and I have a lot of requests for this one, so I will always grow this one. Then last, we're getting into cherry tomatoes. So I always have, so personally, if I'm eating a cherry tomato, I like the sweetie style, which is the smaller cluster of cherry tomatoes, as opposed to a large cherry, which is like a salad tomato that are more like a larger style. And I think it's probably just because I eat them in the garden, and to me these are like a little too big to just pick and eat out of the garden, to where the sweeties are picking size. So I prefer these, but I have a lot of customers that just want the standard large cherry. So I don't keep any of these for my garden. I grow these all just for people that want large cherries, and there's a lot of you out there. So we will have large cherries again. I am also going to do a few sweeties. This is a sweetie seed packet from 2011. Tomato seeds keep really well, so I've had this one for a long time, and I believe there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, there's like 6 or 7 seeds left in this packet. So I will be growing them, and since there's not very many, I did pick out a few new ones to see how they do in comparison to the sweetie. This one I did specifically because of the description of it. It's called JoJo, and this is a offspring or a hybrid of a standard cherry. So the description says, in an effort to stabilize a hybrid cherry, so far we have a vigorous up to 8-foot indeterminate with abundant clusters of bright red, occasionally yellow and orange, super sweet, half-inch fruits. So I thought that sounded fantastic. So we're gonna try that one to help go in the same category with the sweetie tomatoes. And then I also got just some yellow pears. I have not grown yellow pears for quite a few years. Last year I wanted to grow a few because I had a few requests from customers for it, but I couldn't find seed. Last year seed was harder to get, so this year I was a little more up on my game and ordered earlier. I personally don't really like to eat yellow pears because they don't have a very good flavor to me. I like the red tomatoes better, but they sure do look beautiful, don't they, when you're cooking? So we're gonna have yellow pears this year. And then this one I'm super excited about. This one is a new one. It's Siskiyou seeds, so there's not a pretty picture, but it's called Red Centiflora. Sweet red 3/4 inch fruits are born in large, loose clusters up to 40 in count. It's indeterminate, so it's gonna be a long vining tomato. If I remember correctly, if I have been able to get onto my computer before this live video, this is the one that I bought because when I saw the pictures of these clusters of tomatoes on Siskiyou Seeds website, I was like, yeah, I gotta have some of that. So we're gonna try those. I also last year grew Sweetheart cherry. Last year was the first year I grew it. It was okay. It was not fantastic, but like I said, I don't ever cut a tomato the first year because you just never know. Sometimes it might not have been their year. Next year may be the great year for this tomato. So I'm gonna try this one again, and I'm gonna try it in a couple different spots. I believe the only place I had it last year was on my patio in a pot. Maybe it didn't like it. So I don't know if anybody else out there got any of these plants from me. If you did, let me know how they did, please, because I would be curious to know. So we're gonna try that again. They look so pretty, so I'm hoping they're gonna perform. And then the other one that I'm gonna grow this year, and I am going to try to grow a lot more of it, as many seeds as I have left probably. I bought this packet last year. Last year was the first year that I grew this tomato. I didn't really have very many of them up to be adopted out because I only grew a few select ones since I had never grown it before. I wasn't sure how it was gonna do. I gave a few out. I had 2 plants. I had one in my greenhouse and I had one on the patio in a pot, which in the greenhouse are also in pots. The one in the greenhouse did superb. The one on the patio of the pot did it average. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it didn't suck. So, however, these tomatoes are so delicious. I picked a bunch. My friends that are family that grow tomatoes and love tomatoes, I took the tomatoes to them and said, you have got to try this tomato. That's how delicious it was. So this is going to be, I think, one of the new big staples. It is Brad's Atomic Grape, and it's a cherry tomato, but it's an oblong grape tomato. The biggest ones were probably 2 to 3 inches in size. They're these crazy green, purple, red, orange, mottledy colors, but the flavor was just out of this world, which is why they call it Brad's Atomic Grape, I think. However, that's my personal opinion, and being as Ananas Noir is my favorite tomato, can you see the resemblance? That's just the tomato flavor that I like. So So that is all of the tomatoes that I picked out for this year to grow. In January, usually in January, I sit down and I go through my seed boxes. I take stock of what I have left. I plan what I want to plant. I plan what I want to grow to sell. I see what I need to order. And then I literally cannot grow all the varieties that I have. These are the packets that did not make the cut. So if there was something that I've grown in the past that you specifically want that I did not mention, let me know. I probably still have it. And, you know, it just breaks my heart to not be able to grow all of these. So I'm already reconsidering. I should grow green zebras. I love green zebras. How come they didn't get in the grow pile this year? Yeah, I have a lot more in here. So let me know. But those are the tomatoes that I am going to grow this year. And a lot of them will be available for sale. A lot of the standards will be available for sale. If there's something that you specifically want, message me and let me know. See, I rambled on. It's probably been like a half an hour now just about tomatoes, which is why I'm not doing all the seeds in one live video because it goes on too long. So stay tuned. Over the next week or two, I am going to be going over the pepper varieties that I'm growing and let you know what's going to be available there. This year, I'm also doing a lot more herbs for myself personally, so I will probably have plants for sale of those. I am going to do thyme. Gosh, I can't even think off the top of my head what I have that I'm going to grow, because one of my garden goals this year was to grow more of our own herbs and seasonings, and also I'm going to do teas, herbal teas, because I went to the grocery store. I like peppermint tea, and I bought a box of peppermint tea, and it cost me like almost $6, and I thought, this is ridiculous because I have peppermint in my yard. Why am I not making my own tea? If you read the ingredients list on the box, the only ingredient is peppermint. So just in order to save money and not have to spend that at the grocery store and have a version, I'm sure that's healthier, my garden goal is to do my own teas, seasonings, and herbs and spices. So I have ordered a lot more of that than I have in the past years. And I also ordered a couple grab bags of seeds from a company, which I'll get into the details, but a company that I liked was bought up by a larger company who bought up several different seed companies over the past year or so. So they were offering grab bags to get rid of their old packaging. So when you ordered a grab bag, you just got a bundle of seeds that you didn't get to pick anything. And so I ended up with, I kid you not, I think I bought 3 or 4 seed bundles. I got some really cool stuff, but I also literally got a stack between the different packages of thyme seeds. So there's gonna be a lot of thyme out there. Okay, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. And if I can figure out how this live video is going to go over onto my YouTube channel also, which is Main Street Homestead. So make sure you go and subscribe to Main Street Homestead, and then you will get all the videos that are going up on the YouTube channel in addition to this live one. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Until then, here's to growing all the things.